If you've been to the Home Depot lately, I guarantee you've seen this mower sitting outside. And no joke, every time I'm at that store, I always see one or two people sort of hovering around it and wondering to themselves, should I buy it? Should I not buy it? Should I buy it? Should I not buy it? Should I buy it? If you are one of those people, well, hopefully this video will help you make that buying decision. You see, this is the new Ryobi, not Ryobi, 54-inch, 80-volt HP riding zero-turn mower. Now, I already did a full overview when I first got this at the beginning of the year. If you want to see all the specs and all the gadgets and all that stuff, check that video out. I'll put it at the end of this video. But this is like a one season later. I've cut my yard, my grass multiple times, including other people, such as my father-in-law's. There are some things I absolutely love about this mower, and there are some that I absolutely do not. I will tell you this mower has not cost me one single penny to operate all year. So the first half of the video, let's talk about all the things I really do like about this, and then we'll move it over to some of the negatives, and then I'll tell you about how I just ran this thing without literally spending a penny. So the first thing you're probably asking yourself is this comfy for my tushy? And the answer to that is, yeah, my tushy is quite comfortable. The chair itself has a ton of padding. It's a higher quality chair, which I'm really happy about. I'm also 6 feet tall. I'm a man. I can fit on this very comfortable. And if you're shorter, you just move up the seat. So very happy with that. However, I will tell you straight out, definitely not the most comfortable I've ever used. Doesn't have like very good shock absorbers on this thing. So even though the seat's very comfortable and it's going to take a lot of that impact, if you're going over rough terrain, you're definitely going to feel that deck moving around. It doesn't float. We all float down here. But what about this? The joystick. Some people loved it. Some people hated it. Me personally, it's sort of like a meh. You see, when you first start using this mower, it's very, very awkward. You just don't know how to use this thing. You're either used to the paddles or a steering wheel. But I will tell you this, within the first couple cuts, I got extremely comfortable using this joystick and I have no issues at all using it now. Me personally, I actually love this thing. I'm able to keep my one hand down instead of two hands up like this. So when you're riding on a regular zero turn, it's pretty real nice like. However, with the good comes the, well, not so good. Even though this thing is extremely easy to use, it's difficult to cut extremely straight lines. Listen, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I know people that are absolutely obsessed with, they're out there measuring the distance between their lines. They gotta be 100% perfect. I'm not like that. I don't care if my lines are 100% perfect. If you are, if you're cutting on a slant, if you're cutting on a hill, you're going to run into a little bit of trouble keeping this thing completely straight. I'm just throwing that out there. If you don't mind going around in circles like I do, or if you just want to cut your yard and don't want to deal with it because you know you have other things to do in your life, well, this might be for you. Okay, so what about the build quality? Within the year that I have been using this, I have beat the ever-loving out of this thing. High grass, tall grass, weeds, and I'll tell you what, it held up fantastico. In other words, real nice hack. I was really sort of surprised with how well it actually did. You know, this is definitely a DIY type of machine, but I really beat the crap out of this thing and it is built solid. So I'm really happy about that. But with the good comes the not so good. So this wasn't a huge deal to me, but within the first week of, can you see me? Within the first week of using this, I was hauling around the trailer and well, this came out like so. Yeah, the hitch plate. And basically what had happened was the two bolts that they put up in there, they didn't use any type of Loctite or anything to keep those secured. So when I seen this swinging out, I looked and the bolt was missing, so I had to go back and get another bolt and put it back on. And it's held fine. I've been pulling the trailer with tons of weight on this. Haven't had an issue, but I want to let you know that happened. What I would definitely suggest to you is if you were serious about getting this mower, take those two bolts out, put some Loctite on there, put them back in, take you a couple minutes. Now let's talk about a couple smaller nitpicky things and then we'll get into the meat of it, the things that you really want to know. The digital screen, I love it. And the app we talked about in the first video, well, it works pretty good. See, what's cool about this, it'll tell you how much charge you still have left, what batteries you have in there, and if they're charging or not, and then how many run hours you have left. However, the mower needs to be on. You also have to be within 50 feet of the mower to see what's going on with that. And that's the case, why don't I just use my LED screen? Now, I had told you I'm gonna be extremely nitpicky, and that's what I'm going to do. The USB is a 5 volt, 1 amp. It's slow charging. Right? It's there, it'll charge your phone. I've used it, it's slow. You also got this holder here, basically your phone, but I use a Samsung 23S Plus, and it doesn't really want to seat down in there all real nice like. It's a little bit tight, so I wish this was just maybe an inch bigger. Now here's a few other things you might want to know. Number one, the tires and the tread. I haven't had any issues with slippage, even though the backyard is hilly. Hilly? Has a slant. I've been in very wet, muddy situations, haven't had one issue with this thing getting stuck at all. So let's get into the meat of it. How well does it cut? How long does the bat ray last? So on this side of the machine, I'm running the 12AH bat ray, it's the 40 volt. On this side of the machine, I got 3 12AH 40 volt bat rays. And in the back right here, well, you got the 380 volt bat rays. I just got done cutting my 6.8 of an acreage. I'm in Ohio, it's the end of August, the grass is getting thicker, it's growing faster, and it's a little damper, should I say, moist. Moist. You can see on the video that I showed you with the phone, had 93% left of that full bat ray chart. However, I will tell you, depending where you're at and the season you're in, it's gonna change on you. It's gonna vary. In the springtime, when the grass is really lush, moist, and just growing crazy, I was able to maybe get 2 acres out of this thing. However, in the summertime, when it was hot, not so moist, I was able to get 4 acres and then some on this thing. So there's so many variables: how much grass you have, how low you're cutting the grass, how high you're keeping the grass, how fast are your blades turning. Are you got them on medium, you got them on low, you got them on high? Are you running the headlights? There are so many different variables, I can't even get into all of it. However, I will tell you, with my 6.8 of an acreage, and even my father-in-law's house, I'm able to cut many of the acreage and still have enough left over to cut even more if I want. But that brings me down to the cost of operating this thing. And I will tell you straight out, all year, I've operated this mower without spending a 0 penny. Now, obviously, there is no maintenance. There is no gas that goes in here. There's no oil changes, nothing. You just run it and forget about it. That's the one thing I love about this. No maintenance that you would regularly have on a mower. Okay, great, but you say to yourself, Clint, though I love your face and such, you still got to charge it, which takes electricity. So how are you charging it without spending any money? Fair question, let me explain. This is the charger. It plugs into a 110 wall outlet. So if you wanted the convenience of just plugging this into your extension cord and charging up the mower, you could do that. However, I have recently become obsessed with these. You see, this right here is the EcoFlow Max Delta 2, and I did a video on that. And I've also been using the Blue Eddy Max 200. And well, you see that? Those are solar panels right there. So basically what I'll do now is I'll just take that charger, I'll plug it into this power supply, and I'll charge my mower up with it. And then when I'm done, considering summer's usually sunny, I'll just charge those up using the solar panels, and I ain't spending no money. So all in all, even the smaller Quirks, I still really love this machine. It does a phenomenal job cutting. It's so much quicker with the 54-inch deck. It's a big deck and it's a meaty deck. Yeah, you're probably not going to get those absolute perfect lines. And if you're somebody that needs that, well, then this might not be for you. But if you're just somebody that kind of rides in circles and wants semi-straight lines, then it is a fantastic machine if you can look past some of the quirks that I talked about. And I will say one other thing. The one downside about this machine is that it is not cheap. I mean, if you want to buy it, I'll leave a link in the description below. It helps out the channel, that's all I'm going to say. So what I think they do need to do is up the warranty on this, make it a 10-year. Because one of those bat rays in the back, one of the 80 volts, they're like $900 a piece, and it takes 3 of them. However, if you don't mind paying a little extra for the convenience, then yeah, I would definitely recommend this. I love not having to fight with this thing every spring. Cleaning carburetors, spark plugs, gas, want none of it. But of course, I want to know what you think. Leave me a comment in that sweet comment section below and let me know, do you like this? Do you not like this? What are your thoughts? Love hearing that. A sweet feedback. I'll also leave a video for the EcoFlow that, well, I did about a month ago. It's real nice like. Also leave the video that I did, the first video for the Ryobi, not Ryobi, 80 volt mower that I did about 4 months ago. And look for that Blue Eddy Max coming very soon to the channel. We'll be back with more videos soon.